Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, the Simplified Studio. In my previous video, we have gone through some of the problems from the NOVAS Math GRE Bible book, and we have solved problem 1 to problem 5. So in this video, we'll try to look for some of the other problems that we haven't solved earlier. So let's just not waste any other time and get started with the problem solving. So here we have the problem 6, and we have seen that in this problem 6, we are given that y is not equals to 0, and the value of the column A and column B is like, for column A, we have x over y, and for column B, we have x multiplied by y. The only thing we are given here, the only thing we are given here is that y cannot be equals to 0. So there are many possibilities, like for example, if we take x and y in such a way that x equals to 4 and y equals to 2, then for column A, we'll have value 2. For column B, we'll have value 8. We now see that column B has a higher value, but if we take the x and y as such as something that x equals to 4, but y equals to 0.5, then here we'll have value like 8. And for column B, we'll have value like 4 into 0.5 or equals to 2. So here we can see that column A has higher value. So we cannot decide. So the answer for question 6 is D. For question 7, we know that we are given that A is less than 0 or A is a negative number, but we do not know whether it's a fraction or not. So for 7, we can use different values of A, such as that A equals to 2, and this will give the value of column A as 1 over 2, and for B, we'll have 2. We know that column B is larger than column A, but if we choose A as, there is a mistake. I should have taken some negative value, so let's assume that A equals to minus 2, because we are given that A is less than 0. So we'll have minus half, and here we'll have, for column B, we'll have like minus 2, and we know that minus half is greater than minus 2. But for the second case, if we choose something like minus 0.5, here 1 over minus 0.5 is like minus 2. And for column B, we'll have value like, minus 0.5. We know that column B is larger. So still we cannot decide. So the answer for question 7 is also D. For problem 8, we are given that x equals to y, but they cannot be equals to 0. So column B, we can simplify it x over y or x over x, because x equals to y, which gives us like 1. So we know that column B has a higher value than column A over here. So the answer of number 8 question should be B. Now, for the next problem, number 9, we are given that for all numbers x, the box of x denotes the value of x cubed down to the nearest multiple of 10. So let's try to use some values like x equals to 0, maybe. And this will give us like box of 1, and 1 cube is 1, and the nearest multiple of 10, it would be 0. For column B, if we use x equals to 0, we'll have 0 box plus 1, and 0 cube is 0. The nearest multiple of 10 is also 0, and 0 plus 1 would be 1. We know that here column B has a higher value than column A. But now then we can check x equals to 1, and here we'll have the value box of 2, which is like the cube of 2 is 8, and the nearest multiple of 10 to 8 is 10 itself, so it will be 10. And here we'll have like box of 1 plus 1, and 1 cube is 1, nearest multiple of 10 to 1 is 0, so we'll have 0 plus 1, and it will again be equals to 1. But now we see that column A has higher value, so we cannot decide because we are seeing these two kind of relationship in two cases. So the answer for the question 9 would be D. Now for the next problem, question 10, we are given that x has a value between 0 and 2. Now, for example, we can choose x equals to 1, and x squared becomes 1, root of x becomes 1. We see they have the same value. If we choose something like x equals to 1.5 or 3 by 2, x equals squared becomes 3 by 2 whole square, and root of x becomes 3 by 2 root over 3 by 2. And now we see that these two values are not equal. So here we cannot determine. So the answer for the question 10 would be also D. Finally, for the final problem 11, we are given that x is greater than y and y is greater than 0. So we can choose different values, such as that in one case, x and y. Since we have 3 in the denominator here, we can choose something like x equals to 6 and y equals to 3. That will satisfy the condition we are given here. The value of column A would be 3. The value of column B would be 6 divided by 3, which is 2, plus 3 divided by 3, which is 1. So it will be 3. So we see that for this value, we have an equality for column A and column B. Let's try some different values, like for x and y, we just change x equals to 9 maybe, and y is the same, like 3. Now the column A should be equals to 9 minus 3, which is 6. And column B should be equals to 9 over 3 plus 3 over 3. 3 over 3. So we have 9 by 3, which is 3, plus 1, which is 4. And now we see that the value of column A and column B doesn't match. So we are still in the same state. We cannot decide. So the answer for the question 11 should be D. So for the question for the problem set B of chapter 1 in NOVAS GRE Math Bible, we have solved the problem from 6 to 11 for the substitution chapter. And these are the answers for those questions. I hope you got the explanation. If you have any suggestion or correction, I would appreciate that if you can comment or let me know. And I hope you enjoyed it. And in the next video, I will come up with some different problems and try to demonstrate how to solve them. Till then, have a good time. Thank you for watching.